Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Room of Requirement. My name is Megan, and I have over 25 years of occult and esoteric spiritual practice and study. And today I'm going to be talking about how to expand your consciousness through the path of self-mastery. So, this is the main goal for everyone that's on a spiritual journey when they are awakening and all the way through their enlightenment. So I'm going to be talking about the spiritual aspects of self-mastery and also the psychological aspects. It is a multifaceted journey to become, mastered. And so I think this one is going to be really interesting, and I'm excited to bring this one to you guys. So let's just dive right in. Okay, a guide to self-mastery through a spiritual path. Embarking on a journey of self-mastery through spiritual practice is a profound way to achieve personal growth and deeper understanding of the universe. Mysticism, Gnosticism, and esoteric teachings offer unique insights into the transformative process. This guide will explore key concepts and practices to help you on your spiritual path. Self-mastery implies that one possesses the self-awareness necessary to identify the source of one's resistance and the resourcefulness to move beyond it. Getting out of your own way. This is the number one thing. This is the hardest part, is getting out of your own way in all aspects of your spiritual journey. So we learn to master ourselves by getting out of our own way. We strip away what we are not to realize who and what we really are, actualizing our potential in the process. Self-mastery is a path, an orientation we can choose for ourselves. This ongoing decision is a commitment to continual improvement and the process of becoming. When we make this decision, we realize that some parts of us will always try to hold us back. Our biggest naysayers aren't, quote, out there. They are within us. Someone committed to this path of self-mastery finds ways to transcend their fears and break through their resistance. Common misconceptions about self-mastery. Self-mastery is often defined as self-control, the ability to exert a strong will against our impulses to steer our future to one of our choosing. This concept, I believe, leads many people astray. Self-mastery isn't about willfulness or just overcoming your fears. Instead, it's about getting to know yourself more deeply so that you can become more integrated. Bring your inner tensions to consciousness, and resolving them leads you towards greater wholeness. This allows the natural process of development to take hold. So this has a lot to do with shadow work as well. At some point, you will have to do shadow work to become self-mastered and self-actualized. I do have a video on that if you guys want to check that out. I go really in depth into shadow work. Self-mastery is our destiny. In The Farther Reaches of Human Nature, psychologist Abraham Maslow shares what he said to his doctoral students. Quote, "You must want to be first-class psychologist, meaning the very best you are capable of becoming. If you deliberately plan to be less than you are capable of being, then I warn you that you'll be deeply unhappy for the rest of your life. You will be evading your own capacities, your own possibilities." End quote. In essence, Maslow was reminding his students of their call to adventure, to realize their innate potential. As he often explains, developing our innate capacities is our destiny. Fighting this destiny brings depression and anxiety. Embracing this destiny leads to freedom and fulfillment. 12 self-mastery secrets. 1. Accept your resistance. Accept the fact that you will have a resistance to positive change. It's easy to beat yourself up when you see that you're standing in your own way. Feelings of shame and guilt, however, only delay our progress because when we feel bad, we tend to reinforce bad habits. 2. Create a compelling vision. A clear, compelling personal vision will serve you in whatever areas you're seeking growth and development. Without vision, your efforts will be aimless and you'll tend to meander. Distraction is the enemy of mastery, and a personal vision is a powerful external tool to help you stay focused. So this is a lot about discipline as well, discipline on your spiritual path. 3. Commit to long-term practice. Understanding that lasting transformation doesn't happen right away, it requires consistent practice. No matter whether you're learning a new instrument, practicing communication skills, or meditating, Every new skill requires your brain to make new connections and enforce those connections through conscious repetition. 4. Expect backsliding. Even when you know about the process of homeostasis, it will still influence you. Backsliding is inevitable on the path to growth and self-mastery. If you know this, you'll be less discouraged when you observe it in yourself. Here again, self-kindness, self-acceptance, and self-compassion will serve your efforts. Getting down on yourself can hinder your progress. So I've talked about this before in my other videos. When you're on a path and spiritual journey, you're going to have moments where it's going to feel like a roller coaster, and you're going to feel like you've taken 2 or 3 steps back and only 1 step forward. So that's just part of it. And, you know, when you're trying to master yourself through self-actualization, this was the hardest thing for me to get over, because I didn't realize it at the time. I thought backsliding was failure, but it's actually just part of the plan. So just be compassionate with yourself when you start to fall back, or you feel disconnected from the divine, or disconnected and kind of fall out of your discipline or your practice for a while and then pick it back up. So this is just really common. I wish I had known this sooner on my path, but it took me years to figure this out. So just know that it's normal to feel some backsliding. 5, live by the principle of moderation. When we begin on our growth path, we are often excited and enthusiastic. We see a world of possibilities and positive change at our doorstep. In these moments of excitement, we often push things too hard, triggering a homeostatic response on a high alert. Self-mastery is not a sprint. It's a long-distance run. In Qigong, they teach you how to practice with 70% of your capacity. When you push or strain yourself, you induce involuntary tension in your nervous system. So this is another thing that I struggled with myself on my path. I would push myself way too hard to the point of burnout. And I had to learn the hard way. So I would experience like burnout in my energy meridians. I would get extremely physically exhausted, all of these things. So just be mindful of that too. It's good to push yourself a little bit farther to test your own limits, but you don't want to push yourself too hard, because then you'll experience an even longer period of backsliding because you need to rest. 6, lighten up. If you take yourself or the process of growth too seriously, you'll invariably derail your efforts. Your inner animal, or the primitive parts of your brain, will eventually revolt against you and sabotage your efforts. So take a lighthearted approach. Be willing to laugh at yourself. Be playful and find ways to make your practice something you enjoy, while still accepting that it will sometimes cause discomfort. 7, set many goals. In any path to mastery, you learn to practice for practice's sake, not to achieve any particular objective. So this is letting go of attachment of an outcome too. But while a compelling vision keeps you focused and inspired, mini goals can help you measure your progress. Your attention shouldn't be on just achieving these aims. Setting little mini goals can help you stay engaged in your practice. I had to learn this one the hard way too. I would set these long, huge, 2-3 hour long, routines that I would do, and it would completely burn me out. And then when you don't meet that goal, and you get upset with yourself, and then you'll even just quit practicing. So just set little tiny goals that are achievable. That way you can have some wins, and it will keep you motivated to keep going. 8, cultivate physical and mental energy. No matter what path you walk, you need a healthy reserve of physical energy to help manage stress, overcome resistance, and follow through. Our willpower has a kind of fuel tank. It gets depleted when our energy supply runs low. If you commit to a daily practice in the morning, you'll be more likely to follow through because you have more energy after a good night's sleep. However, after a long day of work, your egos are depleted of mental energy, making practice more challenging. Conscious effort in cultivating physical energy through proper diet, sleep, exercise, correct posture, breathing, and stretching will greatly serve you on your path to self-mastery. So I know a lot of people have different times that they can do things, different availabilities, because, life, work, everything gets in the way. So you're just going to have to play with it for a while to figure out what works for you so that you can get the time in, so that you're not burning yourself out or taking other time away from your duties, like your family duties, social, all of that stuff. So it's just going to take some time for you to figure out that fine line there, and that point where it's perfect for you. So just be patient with yourself as well when you're trying to figure out your routine and the timing and all of that. 9, be honest with yourself. Accurate self-assessment is essential for anyone on this path. Our egos often like to invest a tremendous amount of energy lying to others and ourselves. Self-deception is the enemy of internal progress. It's easy to fall prey to ego inflation, seeing ourselves as bigger than we are, and ego deflation, seeing ourselves as less than we are. Self-honesty frees up the energy our egos expend, maintaining our house of lies. Start by focusing on your true attitudes and feelings. So this is being authentic as well and completely honest with yourself and others. It just, everything falls into place so much easier when you do this. You're only getting in your own way when you're not being authentic and you're lying to yourself. So just make it a little bit easier on yourself and just be honest. If there's something that's too hard, do something that's just a little bit easier until you can build up the strength. It's just like building up your muscles. 10, establish empowering rituals. Establishing rituals that you perform at the beginning of your practice session will be helpful. Developing a daily practice is perhaps the most powerful ritual in itself. 11, consistently establish good habits. The tension between one's animal self or lower soul and their inner self or higher soul is experienced by all. Many mistakenly believe that all you need to do is make a decision once about starting a new habit and expect it to stick. The truth is that establishing and maintaining life-supporting habits requires daily decisions. We master ourselves in small daily increments, not giant leaps. 12, craft your plan for self-mastery. One reason many people fail to realize their full potential is that they lack a clear plan of action. This plan can be simple. It can fit on a single page, or more elaborate or robust, addressing a diverse range of categories and lines of human potential. Okay, so understanding mysticism. So this also ties into your mystical path, which is your spiritual routine through self-mastery. So mysticism refers to the pursuit of communion with or conscious awareness of an ultimate reality, divinity, or spiritual truth. It emphasizes direct personal experience and transcendent knowledge beyond conventional thinking. So key concepts: unity with the divine. Mysticism seeks to dissolve the boundaries between the self and the divine, achieving a state of oneness. Inner transformation. Personal transformation is essential, focusing on purifying the heart and mind to align with the spiritual truths. Transcendence. Mystics aim to transcend ordinary perception and experience divine presence through meditation and contemplation. And so why I wanted to talk about both aspects of this was because you can do things on a psychological level that are really, really helpful. But if you add your spirituality to it, you have like this double power to really master yourself, because you can develop good habits and spiritual routines and all of these different things and combine them so that the path is easier, and it's just a whole lot more well-rounded if you combine these two things. And that's a lot like shadow work too. Okay, so Gnostic teachings. Gnosticism is an ancient belief system that emphasizes personal spiritual knowledge, or gnosis, over orthodox teachings and dogma. It views the material world as flawed and seeks to awaken the divine spark within each individual. Core principles of Gnosticism. Divine knowledge. True understanding comes from direct spiritual insight rather than intellectual reasoning. Dualism. There is a distinction between the material and spiritual realms, with the latter being superior and purer. Inner light. Every person harbors a divine spark that can be awakened through knowledge and enlightenment. Exploring esoteric teachings. Esoteric teachings involve hidden or inner knowledge meant for a select group of individuals seeking deeper truths. These teachings often involve symbolism, rituals, and secret wisdom. Elements of esoteric practices. Symbolism. Use of symbols to convey complex spiritual concepts that transcend ordinary language. Rituals. Structured practices that facilitate spiritual transformative and alignment with higher truths. Initiation. The process of being introduced to deeper spiritual knowledge and practices, even through a mentor or a teacher. Spiritual practices for self-mastery. To achieve self-mastery through these spiritual paths, consider incorporating the following practices into your routine. Meditation and contemplation. Develop a regular meditation practice to quiet the mind, focus inward, and connect with the divine. Contemplation. Reflect deeply on spiritual texts, symbols, or concepts to gain insight and understanding. Sacred rituals. Daily rituals. Establish daily rituals that honor your spiritual path, such as lighting a candle or reciting affirmations. Or mantras, too, are really good. Seasonal ceremonies. Participate in ceremonies that align with your natural cycles, fostering connection with the universe. Things that connect with nature, too, that's really going to help you as well. So I practice ceremonial high magic, and it really kicked off a lot of higher levels of awareness when I started doing this, because a lot of occult and esoteric practices and the practical magic all stem from high magic. And it's actually connected with like Qigong and Tai Chi and all kinds of energy manipulation, meditation, all of these things, and connecting directly with the divine. So that's why I'm, talking about ceremonial magic and what it does. And any kind of magic in any form, because it's ancient. It comes from, a very long time ago, and people have been using it for a very long time. And so once you dive into the more esoteric and the deeper occult teachings, that's where you're going to find all this information. And once you start learning it, you're going to figure out that all these things are connected, and they're just different names and different forms for connecting with the divine. So when you start doing that, it's going to speed up the process of your self-mastery. Study and reflection. This is super important. So if you're doing the thing physically, but you're not studying, it's not a complete embodiment of mind, body, and spirit. So, combining all these things together, reading seed thoughts daily, reading passages from the Bible or the Bhagavad Gita, things like that is going to help you with the study and reflection, learning about all these subjects, learning about different spiritual practices. All these things is just really going to give you a wider range of view and a more complex wheel of understanding of all of this. And it will also help you to figure out what works for you. So textual study. Explore mystical, Gnostic, and esoteric texts to deepen your knowledge and understanding. Journaling is fantastic. So keep a spiritual journal to record insights, dreams, and experiences along your journey. Community and guidance. So spiritual community. Engage with a community of like-minded individuals for support or shared learning. Mentorship. Seek guidance from a spiritual mentor or teacher who can provide insight or direction. So I know there's a lot of us, me included, I call myself an ambivert because I'm really super introverted when it comes to my spiritual practice. And for a really long time, I did this all by myself, secluded, and I didn't really have a whole lot of people to talk about this stuff with. And I got all my information from books and videos and all of that. And so for the longest time, I felt like really isolated and alone. But once I started to, meet like-minded people and surround myself with people that supported me for who I was and what I was into, and once I put myself out there a little bit, I started to realize that, hey, there are more people out there like me that, have these higher awarenesses and knowledge of the stuff that I'm studying. And, on the online community is great for that. And so that's another reason why I wanted to create this channel, was to give people a community where they can learn all of this stuff and talk amongst each other. And once I started to kind of come out of my shell, and, I know on your path you go into a hermit mode at some point, and maybe you have varying different, times when you do this. But when you start conversing with other people, that's where the real growth comes in. And eventually you will need to converse and be around these people, and it actually amplifies and makes your spiritual practice more powerful when you are doing it with a group of people. So in conclusion, self-mastery through a spiritual path is a lifelong journey that requires dedication, openness, and willingness to explore the unknown. By embracing the teachings of mysticism, Gnosticism, shamanism, and esoteric wisdom, You can cultivate a deeper connection with the divine and unlock potential within yourself. Remember, the path to self-mastery is unique to each individual, so trust your intuition and follow your heart. Self-mastery is a lifelong journey that requires discipline, focus, and a deep understanding of oneself. To achieve self-mastery, one must first understand oneself. It involves recognizing strengths, weaknesses, values, beliefs, and emotions. Okay, you guys, I hope you really enjoyed this one. I'd love to hear your stories about self-mastery, practices that you've done, and, ask any questions. I like to see you guys talk amongst yourselves. I really enjoy reading your comments and answering your questions and hearing your stories. So I will see you guys next time around. Bye.